Welcome back to Definitely Not Definitive. I'm Ken.
And I'm Bethany.
And we're just a giddy couple in love that loves reacting to some Genshin Impact.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. And so this is Genshin Impact Triple Trailer Tuesday, people, for our collected Miscellany reactions that we do every Tuesday. So this is Shenhe, Yunjin, and Yae Miko that we're checking out today. If you want all of our Genshin Impact reactions, check out the description of this video because we got a playlist there for you. Also have a link to our Patreon and get early ad-free access to our Genshin Impact reactions. And because it's Genshin Impact,
we have a drink.
Yeah.
It is the Cleese Sparkling Bomb. And it's a sparkling bomb because it has pop rocks on the rim.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Although the paths through the lofty peaks of Jueyun Karst are arduous, there are always bright-eyed mortals who come seeking the adeptal path. For all their ambition, most mere mortals cannot fathom the way to the Adepti, and return from their fruitless journeys disappointed. Yet those fortunate enough to encounter some hardship may suddenly find themselves being rescued by a divine young lady. Stunned by the elegance of their silver-haired savior, they hastily begin bowing excitedly in reverence and adulation, only to find their Adeptus rescuer remain indifferent and leave without even a second glance.
Okay.
I will do as you command.
But
though Shenhe is often mistaken for an Adeptus, she is actually a mortal, albeit one who is an accomplished Adepti disciple. Being naturally gifted, and having learned polearm combat and various adeptal arts from her masters, exorcising evil spirits is a mere trifle to her.
Okay.
Under her master's tutelage, Shenhe trained diligently, producing impressive results. When Shenhe is dispatched on a 20-hour expedition in Liyue, she will obtain increased rewards. Shenhe's normal attack can combo up to 5 strikes with her polearm, dealing physical damage. Shenhe's charged attack consumes a set amount of stamina to lunge forward, dealing damage to enemies in her path.
Dude, he's so big.
I know.
When she casts Spring Spirit Summoning, Shenhe grants all nearby party members the Icy Quill effect, and deals cryo damage in different ways based on whether the skill is tapped or held. When tapped, Shenhe will rush forward with a Talisman Spirit, dealing cryo damage to enemies along her path.
Sweet.
When held, Shenhe commands the Talisman Spirit to deal AoE cryo damage to surrounding enemies. When party members are affected by Icy Quill, normal, charged, and plunging attacks, elemental skills, and elemental bursts that deal cryo damage to enemies deal increased damage based on Shenhe's current attack. The Icy Quill's effect will be cleared once its duration ends, or after being triggered a certain number of times. When the skill is held rather than tapped, the effect lasts longer and can be triggered more times. When a party member with the Icy Quill effect deals an instance of cryo damage to multiple enemies, the effect is triggered multiple times, according to the number of enemies hit. The number of times Icy Quill's effect is triggered is calculated separately for each party member. After unlocking the talent Spirit Communion Seal, when Shenhe casts Spring Spirit Summoning, she grants additional effects to all nearby party members.
Seems like she got a lot going on.
The skill increases their elemental skill and elemental burst damage, while holding the skill increases their normal, charged, and plunging attack damage.
Cryo Incarnate!
That's cool looking.
Shenhe unleashes the power of the Talisman Spirit, allowing it to roam free, dealing AoE cryo damage. The Talisman Spirit then creates a field, which decreases the cryo and physical resistance of enemies within, and also deals periodic cryo damage to them. After unlocking the talent Deific Embrace, an active character within the AoE of Divine Maiden's Deliverance will gain a cryo damage bonus. Shenhe is fated to bear the curse of calamity. As cautioned by the Adepti, she is careful to avoid harming the innocent. But as for those with malicious intent, she's only too happy to put them in their place by giving them a taste of the Adepti arts. Shenhe's Spring Spirit Summoning is the core of her skill set, offering support to other cryo party members with the Icy Quill effect. In battle, Proficient use of her elemental skills tap and hold effects allows Shenhe to shine by enhancing the party's attack capabilities. When energy is full, Shenhe unleashes her elemental burst, decreasing enemies' cryo and physical resistance, and creating the opportune moment to defeat the weakened enemies. Liyue Harbor is known as a bustling melting pot of a city, ready to welcome any and every lonely figure. But if Shenhe truly wishes to rejoin human society, there is much she will have to learn. Even I myself do not relish the solitary life I lead. When others are fortunate enough to meet a companion for their journey, I sincerely wish them the very best. After all, to this day, I hold that people should be authors of their own fate, both the crane ready to make peace with the past, and the beast with a grudge to bear have the freedom to make their journey home. The people of Liyue have always been fond of Liyue opera. The reason? Only through these old tales from eons ago can they witness the legendary feats of the Adepti. But ever since the young Yunjin became director of the Yunhan Opera Troupe, not only has she excelled in classical Adepti-style opera, but she has also brought her own original stories to the stage, recounting tales of the common folk.
She does look like a doll.
It is often said that listening to Ms. Yun's new operas is like unwrapping a gift box.
I think part of that is her outfit
Anticipation,
too.
Yeah.
followed
And like
by
her
sheer
headdress.
delight.
Which
yeah,
opera
the outfit
shall we
definitely has a lot to
perform
do with it.
today?
Fans of Liyue opera all agree that Yunjin has boundless talent, performing admirably both on the stage and on the battlefield. When defending herself from the enemy, Yunjin deftly adapts the techniques of stage combat, turning defense into offense and putting on a show her enemies won't forget in a hurry. In order to satisfy her appetite, while maintaining a perfect figure and singing voice, Yunjin developed a certain knack for cooking. When Yunjin achieves perfect cooking on dishes with adventure-related effects, she has a certain chance to cook double the amount.
She's
Yunjin's
Goku's favorite
normal
character.
attack can combo up to 5 strikes, dealing physical damage. Yunjin's charged attack consumes a set amount of stamina to lunge
decent
forward,
work.
dealing physical damage to enemies in her path.
She's just a little too cutesy for me.
Tap her elemental
appreciate,
skill,
like, her
and
dancing
Yunjin
flair,
strikes from a cloud grasping stance, dealing geo damage. When the skill is held,
Yeah.
Yunjin adopts the opening flourish stance and charges up, forming a shield.
She has a nice style.
The shield's damage absorption scales off
Style points for
Yunjin's
sure.
max HP, and has increased effectiveness against all elemental and physical damage. When the skill is released, its duration ends, or when the shield breaks, Yunjin will unleash the charged energy as an attack, dealing geo damage. Based on the time spent charging, the attack will unleash at charge level 1 or charge level 2. After unlocking the talent true to oneself, using opening flourish at the precise moment when Yunjin is attacked will unleash its level 2 charged form. Proficient use of these skills allows Yunjin to effectively fend off enemy attacks and strike back.
Break a leg!
Unleashing Yunjin's elemental burst deals AoE geo damage and grants the Flying Cloud Flag formation to nearby party members. When characters with Flying Cloud Flag formation deal normal attack damage to enemies, they will deal bonus damage based on Yunjin's current defense. The effects of Flying Cloud Flag formation will be cleared after a set duration, or after being triggered a set number of times. When one normal attack hits multiple enemies, the effect is triggered multiple times according to the number of enemies hit. The number of times triggered is counted independently for each member of the party. After unlocking the talent Breaking Conventions, the normal attack damage bonus granted by Flying Cloud Flag formation is further increased. The more elemental types among your party members, the greater the increase. Unlike on the stage, there is no
Oh wow,
script
she went
to
for
rely
purpose. She
on
doesn't run
in
like a
battle.
little.
But in Yunjin's mind,
arms out and
Unexpected
everything.
enemies serve as her best rehearsal
She doesn't run like
partners,
these.
providing fresh inspiration with their unscripted attacks.
There she is!
In battle, Yunjin must make deft
Cheers.
use of her elemental
Cheers.
skill. She waits for the moment and counterattacks when the enemy is vulnerable to gain the upper hand. When her energy is full, Yunjin unleashes her elemental burst, granting nearby party members the Flying Cloud flag formation, increasing her teammates' normal attack damage and helping them to finish off their enemies. Compared to a lifetime, a single opera performance is short-lived. And against the vastness of history, mortal lives are like walk-on parts in a grand play, drops in a boundless ocean. However spellbinding the performance, the curtain call will come and the audience will leave. Perhaps this is why Yunjin incorporates the details of ordinary lives into her scripts, portraying the trials and tribulations of the common folk, alongside grand tales of gods and adepti, preserving their stories in operatic form to honor the human experience for generations to come. I happen to know a story about the heavenly principles and mortals, about cataclysm and peace, curse and devastation. If I were to share this story with Yunjin, I do wonder how her theatrical interpretation would turn out.
Narrator kind of always brings it
Yae
back
Miko
to
is a
himself
divine
lately.
kitsune, as the Electro Archon's familiar and Guji of the Grand Narukami Shrine. Her
we're gonna meet the
dignified
narrator
presence
in this?
commands
I hope
awe and
so.
respect. But as chief editor of the Yae Publishing House, and a
She was
patron and participant
beautiful,
of
like
festivities,
that image that
her crafty
started with.
tone keeps you guessing. This leaves many uncertain of how to deal with the majestic but mystifying Miko. In reality, however, if you want to make Lady Guji smile, you needn't deliver an eloquent speech. You simply need to say these 4 magic words. Something amusing just happened.
Whatever would you do without me?
In Yae Miko's eyes, shooing away pesky intruders is a tedious task that does not require her personal involvement. She can leave this to the kitsune spirits. Only when her
Wand.
curiosity is
Bippity-boppity-boo.
aroused will Yae Miko show her fabled fox form and summon lightning plummeting from above.
Cool.
It's
Yeah.
said that those lucky enough to witness this spectacle never live to tell of the tale. With her age and experience, Yae Miko is one of the most learned in the land. Even if the spur-of-the-moment stories she enjoys telling make this hard to believe. When Yae Miko crafts character talent materials, there is a chance to obtain 1 extra random item of the same region. This item has the same rarity as the material consumed. Yae Miko's normal attack performs up to 3 consecutive attacks, dealing
See that
electro
said
damage.
Spirit Fox Sin Eater?
No,
Charged
great
attack
name.
Consumes a set amount of stamina and deals AoE electro damage after a
She just
short
go like this at
casting
the end.
time.
Yeah, she does!
Tap her elemental skill, and Yae Miko moves swiftly, leaving behind a Seisho Sakura. While on the field, it periodically strikes one nearby enemy with lightning, dealing electro damage.
Sweet.
This skill has 3 charges, and a maximum of 3 Seisho Sakura can exist at one time. If another Seisho Sakura is nearby, its level is increased, meaning its lightning strikes deal more damage. Initially, Seisho Sakura are created at level 1, and the maximum level is 3. By strategically spacing the Seisho Sakura, Yae Miko can quickly create an ideal formation to increase their damage level and put her enemy in a difficult position.
Triangle of death.
When the Guji of the
That's
shrine
cool.
recites
I like
a
that
blessing, thunder roars in response.
Again, I like the
After
Thunder and Lightning
unlocking the
characters.
talent Enlightened Blessing, Seisho Sakura damage is increased based on Yae Miko's elemental mastery.
I'm always watching.
When Yae Miko unleashes her elemental burst, she summons a lightning strike, dealing AoE electro damage. When cast, Yae Miko unseals nearby Seisho Sakura, destroying their
Oh, you see
outer
like the
form
fox
and
image?
transforming
Yeah,
them
yeah.
into Tenko Thunderbolts, dealing further AoE electro damage. For each Seisho Sakura destroyed in this way, one Tenko Thunderbolt strikes down.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and her little like, did I do that?
After unlocking the talent, the Shrine's Sacred Shade, when Yae Miko casts her Elemental Burst, each Seisho Sakura destroyed resets the cooldown for one charge of her elemental skill. Don't let Yae Miko's graceful outward appearance fool you into thinking she is gracious in temperament.
What happened to the little
That
bird?
would be a fatal error. During battle, Yae Miko
Did she just
does
kill it and
not
laugh?
think twice before unleashing Seisho
I mean,
Sakura.
she might have.
She ensnares the enemy in a perilous position, dealing damage and creating opportunities for teammates to attack. When energy is full, Yae Miko unleashes her Elemental Burst, unsealing nearby Seisho Sakura, and summoning Tenko Thunderbolts to make sure these tiresome foes disappear for good. In storytelling skill, the writers of the Yae Publishing House are my superior. When I get talking, I tend to speak of true historical events. But under Chief Editor Yae's guidance, works of sheer fantasy thrive, accounting for the vast majority of popular light novels. Maybe in another few centuries, archaeologists will find books filled with pure fiction, mistake them for rare historical records, and draw all kinds of conclusions from them. Perhaps by then, the truth of the past will be consumed as entertaining fiction. Its only purpose to meet people's need for novelty, save for the sneering of the kitsune. All that will remain is the despairing
Beautiful area.
sighs of
The water underneath and everything. She definitely chose a nice home.
Shenhe is my favorite out of all of them. I think she was just like, you know, she has some good mystery about her, and she had some cool moves, and I liked her damage that she gave the overall group as well. I think Yae Miko is my second favorite. She almost took over Shenhe. I really liked the 3 lightning placements and
Triangle
like
of Death.
yeah, the triangle of death that she had, and like she had the cool like fox image that would come up as well. Yunjin is definitely last in this group and probably towards the bottom overall of the Genshin characters. No, I mean, you know, like, look, there aren't any characters that I hate or anything like that because we really don't know their stories. We're learning a little bit about them here, but maybe when we go through the cutscenes, you know, there'll be some characters we dislike. So I haven't like dislike any characters, but it's just like, I don't know. There's nothing that stuck out to me with her that I really could latch onto that I really enjoyed.
So for me, it's Yae Miko first. Loved like the fox and the lightning image. Yeah. I also thought she arguably chose one of the better homes in the Genshin world. I loved like, you know, the on top of the hill, but over the water. And it was very pretty. I also liked just kind of the attitude that she had. Like she had, it wasn't quite sassy, but it wasn't adorable. It was, she struck kind of a unique chord with me. Compared to a lot of the other characters who seem more clearly defined. Like she sort of had this, and you did it as well, like that cutesy facial expression that you said that she had.
It's like mischievous, like facial expression. Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't like obnoxiously cutesy, and her whole persona wasn't cutesy. It was sort of like she had this very kind of alluring and powerful persona, but then she threw that in, and you're like, wait a minute, you're also cute. That seems like an odd mixture. Then probably Shenhe for the reasons you mentioned. Although I really wanted like Yunjin to be my second because I actually enjoyed her quite a bit. But I think in this trifecta, she's unfortunately just in a group that she's probably destined to lose in. But I liked her dancing move. I liked her the 5 flag move. He had a name for it that was really cool. But I thought that was awesome how like the flags kind of popped out around her. And I, you know, as people who've been actors at one iteration in our life, I appreciated her flair for the drama and sort of like coming from the opera world. And I think probably the inherent storyteller that makes her. So I'm gonna give her a few special mentions to balance out my husband.
I think she needs it. You know, I mean, you saw greatness in her where I did not, and you know, like we can That's what happens sometimes. Everyone can have their own favorite characters and see things in characters that they like or that they're drawn to. As far as power levels go, if I had to guess, I would say Yae Miko is probably number 1.
Yes.
Then Shenhe, then Yunjin. Although Shenhe might be more powerful because she was like almost viewed as like a god in this world, but she's like a god's like she's just like trained as like an apprentice really well. So she might be the most powerful, but I don't know. I just thought Yae Miko's abilities were just kind of more impressive to me.
I think the reason that Yae Miko came up as like number 1 for me over Shenhe with little hesitation at all is because in Shenhe's, it seemed they made her seem so subservient, like a servant to the gods and her multiple masters and like all of this stuff. And so I like that Yae Miko was her own boss. She like had her own power, her own authority, and like it says, you know, shooing away pests was beneath her. I know there was just something about her that she seemed a little more in control of herself. Okay. Whereas like with Shenhe, they made her sound so subservient, but at the same time, like that's how it hit me. But what hit you was the fact that she was apprenticed to the gods, which is really freaking cool. Yeah. When you think about it. So it was just interesting how like you and I picked up or were impacted by such different lingo that they used to describe one character.
That is very interesting. I agree. And like to me, her like, I mean, she did say at that one time, like I'm ready. I'm like, I'm here. It's, you know, whatever.
Here to serve or something.
Yeah, here to serve. Yeah. And at that, I'm like, oh, okay, that seemed like a little out of character. Like, because at first when the introduction happened, it seemed like she would just like, you know, do her job and like that was it. And like, you know, she didn't need thanks. She didn't look back at you for, you know, like praise or adulation or anything like that. Approval. She just did her business and went about her way. So like, she had a little bit of this sort of like emotionless attitude about it, which I thought was unique to this world as far as I've seen. Like, you know, people are either, I don't know, super cocky or, you know, they are very dark and mysterious or they're very like, you know, purposeful and driven and or they're just like happy-go-lucky and they throw bombs all over the place. But, you know, for her, it just seemed very, you know, matter-of-fact business-like and I don't know, a little bit robotic, but not completely.
It's interesting that we both, for this one, chose our favorites were, for each of us, the one who struck us as unique to the world of Genshin. Yeah. And I don't know, I suspect that that's probably going to be the case more often than not going forward, only because as we have now met so many characters, yeah, it's going to be the ones that have a little something really different about them that stick out.
Yep, I agree. Quickly, your power levels, or if you think the most powerful is the least powerful.
I think I would agree with you. Yae Miko, then Shenhe, then Yunjin. Okay. And again, kind of like how I said, I think on the last one, I wonder if these sort of adorability and youthful factor is getting in the way of me seeing Yunjin as powerful. Yeah, could be. Because like Shenhe and Yae Miko, they seem like women. They were women in their own power and like they just struck me as more grown up. And therefore I think I see them as more powerful. Whereas Yunjin, you know, you said she looks like a doll and she kind of does. The headdress that she's wearing almost looks like it's got like gumdrops on it. Like she seems in some ways like she belongs in Candyland to me, I think, with her costume and whatnot, which makes me even more so think of her as kid-like, which then makes me think of she's growing into her power as opposed to the other two who are in their power.
You'll let us know what you thought about this down below in the comments. And if you play these characters, if some of your mains, let us know why you like them so much. And if you want all of our Genshin Impact reactions, we have a playlist down below in the description of this video. We've done character drafts. We're obviously doing the collected Miscellany right now. And we also have a link to our Patreon. We can get early ad-free access. We're about a month ahead in our Genshin Impact reactions as we do this every Triple Trailer Tuesday, people.
Yeah, woohoo!
Thanks so much for checking out our reaction for Genshin Impact Collected Miscellany, but just keep in mind
that our reaction is definitely not definitive.